亚洲或者是世界的都市农耕的这个首都这样，所以他们是非常非常有企图心啊。那个李先生他是等于说是这个事情的幕后的最重要的一个执行者。So I'm just proud about you. Since you don't know what I'm talking about.
No problem. Really, it's okay.
Yeah. So I'm talking to IC.
Yeah.
Okay.
The concept of farmer, definition of farmer, what we think. It's not easy to say about urban farmer. Mostly when we speak about a farmer, it's a professional job, yeah. So I'm asking, are you professional in farming?
But we still grow food for other people, not just for ourselves.
So we have to say we are urban farmer or urban food grower.
Yeah.
If we omit urban, this farmer must be professional, especially in rural areas. Of course, there are some farmers in urban areas, but still they are working at the field of commercial area. So it's big difference, farmer and urban farmer. I put this topic is a journey of greening city from Seoul to Globe. So the first journey will be my own journey, my own life, from where I born and what I study and what I'm doing through my life. And the second one is I had a field trip in Seattle and South. It is a big conference every year in some cities. Like in 2013 there was a conference in Seattle, and 2014 was in Chicago. So they have a group, American Community Gardening Associations. So the second journey will be in Chicago. And the last one is about Seoul urban agriculture. So I will start my presentation after each part. Maybe we can have a small discussion after the part. Yeah, she's okay. And if you have any question, just interrupt my presentation and you can ask me whatever you want. It's my home. That's what we call Suncheon City. Suncheon City means Sun is kind and someone who is following the God. And Cheon means heaven or high. So Suncheon is very kind to God. And in these days, Suncheon Bay is so famous with preservation of the wild bird and wetland. So last year, the Suncheon city held the garden festival, garden shows in Suncheon Bay. So the upper picture is Suncheon Bay. It's beautiful scenery has. And at the bottom there's a village we call the Nagan fortress. It's old village, but still people live there. Yeah. It's Suncheon located in the southern part of Korea. It's my home. I grew up to 18. And when I entered the university, it was in 1986, and still we were under military government. So every day, we never started in the classroom. We went out and we shout, we need a democracy and we need freedom. So maybe, I think less than 1/3 we started in the classroom. But more than 2/3 we started outside on the road. Not about, I graduated forestry department, and I never started about trees and forest during my time. We started only the freedom, but it was so important for us. See the man died. It was in 1987 when I was second grade. And after he died, we got together more than 10 million people in one place. And finally, the military president decided to give us freedom and democracy. So it was my university time. And after my and I entered the master course, and in 1992, what happened in 1992 in the world? The keyword is Liu. There was the international meeting in Liu in Brazil. There was for sustainable development, the first meeting in Liu in 1992 when I entered the graduate course. So at that time, I thought I graduated forestry, so I studied forestry in Korea first. But after the EU kind of MOU or something like that, international MOU between more than 100 countries run by the United Nations. So I understood at that time the tropical forest is more important than our forest. So I started to study about the tropical forest, not Korean forest. So I went to the Philippines for 2.5 years as a volunteer. We have Korean youth volunteer systems, like it's a KOICA, it's like a JICA, Japanese International Volunteer Systems. This is something like a Peace Corps in USA. So I went to the Philippines, and so during my, I didn't start write my thesis yet, so I wrote the thesis about the social forestry in the Philippines. Have you heard about social forestry? Social forestry. Social forestry is very similar to the community garden, because the economic condition and situation is different from the developed countries. In developing countries, the social forestry means it's in another word, it's a community forestry. So social forestry means when you plant the trees, you need firewood. Today you plant the trees, seedlings, but tomorrow you may harvest the seedling to fire for cooking. So how can you make a successful your project, the plantation project? So you need more concern about the social problems and economic condition of the developers in the area. So when you make a forest project or plantation project, you have to design the not only plantation but also such a social designs, like make a relationship with in the community, and maybe you have to make a kind of small economic project with small farmers, not to harvest small trees. And sometimes you can grow coffee under timber trees, like there's kind of mahogany trees, and there are some famous trees you can harvest timbers at the 20 or 30. So, and coffee needs some shade, almost 30% of shade coffee needs. So up to 15 to 20 years of the timber tree, you can grow coffee still. So it's a good combination. So up to 15 to 20, maybe you can make money from the coffees. Yeah. Not to cut the trees of mahogany and other teak trees. So that's the system of the social forestry. Yeah. It's a little bit similar to the community garden. In terms of concerning the social or community problems or conditions. And after the Philippines, I went to the Maldives. You know Maldives? It's a famous place for honeymoon. It's near the India. Yeah. It has small island, almost 2,000 islands. And I stayed there for 6 months. Actually, I made a contract with the United Nations for 2 years. I stayed in a small island. The diameter is just 500 meters or 700 meters. So small. And people live there only 156. I was 157. When I left the island, still I was 157. One died, one born. It's a small society. And actually, I had the program, million tree plantation program there. But they need not trees, they need vegetables, they need pechay, they need radish. So I planted pechay than trees because they need not tree. They have some mango trees, but they have very good timber trees. There's coconut trees. They can make everything by coconut trees, even more, even how. So yeah, that's my experience to 1992, 1996. And fortunately, always I studied or I worked with communities and such a social sectors. So this is why I'm now doing kind of community garden. Actually, volunteer work. I was volunteer supported by Korean and next supported by the United Nations. And after the volunteer, I roam around the Asian countries, especially India and Sri Lanka. And that was in about 30. You know 30, you know the meaning of 30? Not Gongzi, but Mengzi. One of the Chinese philosopher says 30 means So I want to be independent at that time. Yeah. So I went to Asia. Especially there was a Buddha in Asia, in India. So I wanted to see the Buddha. went down there. Thailand, I met him in Oroville Village. Oroville Village is the famous international community society. It's a small village, but you know, maybe 2,000, 3,000 years ago, India was covered with forest, almost 60%, more than 60%. But now, they have only, how much? 4 or 6% forest. It's a surprise, yeah. How about England? Before the Industrial Revolution, the England was covered with forest, almost 70%. And after the revolution, what happened? Only 4% left. They cut all the trees, and they cultivate grasses for animals, and they cut all the trees for the making boat and charcoal for the industry. Anyway, so in Oroville Village, I met 4 farmers who came to the Oroville Village the first time. I met 2 guys, and one guy said he was forester, so he was so famous forester in India, and he had worked with the Indian government. And, he had several deforestation projects. But when I met him, he gave up all the projects, and he said, all India is so political. Yeah, okay. And and another one, he's from Germany, and but his name is George. The name of George is not German, yeah, it's American, yeah. But can you, how do you pronounce the George in Germany? Georg. Yeah. He just changed the pronunciation of his name. Yeah. And he wanted freedom. And what I found in the Oroville communities, when I met them, it was 20 years old of the community. And one of my friends there, he said, people want forest when there was no trees, but people want creek when it was forested. You know, it's Buddhism. And yeah, every time, maybe if you need some hot drink, you have to drink hot. Maybe you need cold. Yeah. I found that. I found this a simple way to survive. And 25 years ago, you know, in advance there is another international community now. I forgot the name. Kibbutz. Kibbutz in Kibbutz. Right. Kibbutz in Israel. It's number one, the first international community. But when I heard that the kibbutz was kibbutz paid the community, and in 1997 it was 25-year-old of the Oroville community. They say they failed. Why? Maybe when maybe a couple of years before, when I met them, they were so independent in terms of the economy. They produce themselves everything, rice and even the energy. They develop the solar systems. They never need something from outside. But when they were famous, there are many tourists to come to all the villages. So there are new buildings with guest house and restaurants. So at that time, almost 50% of the economy in Oroville, the community, was done by outside. So they cannot say we are independent. And that's the one reason. And the second reason is their son and their daughter don't like to live there. They want to move to big city. So every day they argue with their daughter and son. So they could imagine 10 years later, maybe some other people, not my son, my daughter, will stay here. Maybe other people will come and they will do kind of guest house and some other things. Not farming, not making energy from the sun. And I came back to the Korea, and I was so slim, only 59 kilograms, now more than 8 kilograms. And I was sick, and I went to doctor, and doctor said, go home. There's no medicine, you just go home. It's medicine for you. I went home. And I started doctoral course. Still same forestry department. And at that time I had a project. You know, the Korea was not so famous in 1980s, 90s. And only one was famous. It's deforestation. After the Korean War, almost more than 60% of our land was, the forest was gone by fires and trees. And after that, we started the deforestation project from late 1960s to the 1980s. That time, we planted million trees. And so late, maybe 30 years later, and 99% of our mountain area is covered with trees. It's so successful. But the problem is a social forest. We need a social forest. You know, when you plant trees in the mountain area, it's good. You will not have soil erosion. You may have fresh air and good water, clean water from the forest. But what happened? The government hit all the people of mountains. And there were some people who cultivate, who grow food in the mountain areas, like the wild vegetables, and even some of the mountain rices, and some other, maybe sake, mushrooms. But for the plantation project, the government kicked them out. So 30 years later, there is no one who depends on the forest. After 1997, in 1997, there was economic crisis in Asian countries. We were almost controlled by IMF. Even Taiwan, I think, in 1997 was economic crisis. So in the Seoul station, millions of homeless stayed there. So it's a big problem. But as I told you, we had succeeded to plant all the trees in the whole mountains. But nobody cared the forest. So it's almost useless. So we need the people to care our forest. And millions of people has no job. So if we invite them to work in the mountain, to care, to thin and prune our trees. So one year we cultivate almost more than 1 million people working in the mountains. So it's so successful. There's we founded NGO we call Forest for Life. So Forest for Life has two missions. One is to care our forest, to develop our forest usefully. And the second mission is to pay people to make job opportunities. Especially the labor who work construction. That's not me. I just took a picture from the website. I stayed in the small houses. It's not this house is some maybe 5 or 6 families live together in small houses. So I was so close with neighbors, and I know everyone and who has how many knives and how many dishes. But you know, the city is so dangerous for the kids. I have 2 kids. They will come. So I had to move to the apartment. There's an apartment system in Seoul. It's quite different from Taipei. It's very crowded. I think you have only 2.8 billion people in Taipei.
2.6.
2.6. How about in Seoul? It's 10 million, more than 10 million. And they live in only 0.6% of our total land. Imagine. And 20 million means almost half of our population in Korea live in 3% of total land area. So it's crazy, yeah? So stupid. Too much urbanized. So there's no place to move only the way to survive in Seoul city. You have to live in apartments. But if you move to the apartment, there's no communities. There are it's very convenient, but no neighbors, no communities anymore. And we started the let's go back to and I started Forest for Life in 2002, and actually my second home is Philippines. So I wanted to go back to Philippines to study the tropical forest, social forest. But unfortunately, maybe fortunately, my boss, he was ex-president candidate. He was not. he suggests to start Seoul in translation. That's why I'm in. And I went to the, I was so crazy. I was really willing to study in Philippines. I prepared everything, and they accept. And just if I have money, I can buy. It's a very big suggestion, so I was confused and I went up the mountain that's very near my home. And I look over the whole cities. And do you know the story of the bean trees?
Jack?
Yeah, Jack. Yeah. Yeah. If we can grow kind of trees and between the apartment, maybe you can make a city green. Yeah? So I decided to start a Seoul first town. And we start at first Seoul Forest Park. It's a huge park, almost 100 hectares. So it's #1 park in the park. So tried many things, we achieved many things. One is we cultivate or we grow not only city farmers, city gardeners. And the second is community gardening. And through, and also we do kind of biodiversity conservation activities. And in these days, we believe the play on green or play with green or play in green is so important because according to the scientists in USA, they calculate how much their children spend time with the TV or internet and how much they spend time in open air. You know the result? The children spend almost 7 hours per day with TV and internet and smartphone, but only 7 minutes in open air. So, what will happen 10 years later or 20 years later? Our children can understand our nature, our green. They can find green in their computer or their smartphone. So now we invite children to go out. For last 10 or 11 years, I learned, 20 years, I learned about social forestry and community design. In 2012, we had a Green Community Design Conference. I met training there. Before the Community Design Conference, I came to the Taipei in 2011. I met Tay and Trendy and Chen Yu and Minyan, many people I met. And also I met Jeff Ho. So, I was so surprised and affected by Jeff Ho and the trainings and your activities in Taipei. Especially, you invited me to Taipei, and at first time, then you made a poster with blah 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 and open space. And someday, and then you put the Chinese name. How do you speak that? 재판공간. We call 해방공간. 해방공간. It's not. It doesn't mean open space. It's something different from open space. You know? And just 3 days before the conference, the organizer changed the name, English name, from open space to opening space. It's right. Yeah? 해방 공간 is same opening space. There's a big difference. So, in the field of landscape architecture or landscape activities, urban agriculture means it's almost same to the productive landscape building. Yeah, it's my own journey. It's just a first part. So if there is any question, maybe we can discuss for 5 or 10 minutes, and I will proceed to the second part. Any questions? Not really. Anybody interested in my life and my own journey to green, not only city, but also our society? Maybe no question. I will show the lady. Yeah. What if, like even in community garden, mostly if you have an urban park, it's managed by who? City officer. Yeah. But who is owner? This land. Everybody, all citizens. I'm the owner of the land, but nobody knows it. Yeah. And but if you change it into community garden, they work even not only for public but also for personal benefit. They work. But they want food. But they cultivate. Cultivate means carrot or you know, the community garden develop and every year very good scenery and beauty and sometimes environmental education programs they do. And it's a public, yeah. And now they understand, this is my land. It's belong to mine, not only the government. Let me say, like small narrow road. Is there any open space? Open space is open. It's open for public. But if nobody has ownership of the land, can you say it's open? It's open, but you don't like to go there. Is it open? Can you say it's open? No, I don't think it's open. It's closed. It's open. There is no gate. There is no time. Closed. But if your mind is closed, the place is also closed too. What do you think? And so, I started 1,000 hectares. Do you start? You start? I started so long time ago. So you may understand about what I'm saying regarding open space. That's fine. It's a classroom. Open space. Open space. I don't know. I'm not the person to use the opening space. You the Taiwanese use the open space at first. So what's the difference between open space and open space? Objective. No objective, yes objective. Yeah? And speaking in Chinese, I studied 1,000 Chinese characters. Never mind. Well, anyone can put something here. What's different between open and open space? Maybe number one is this one. Yeah. If it has an objective, it can change many things. It depends on the place. Maybe there are more sense of place. Yeah? Of course there are some. It has more than. Oh wow! Thank you. Maybe have more heat here. Maybe more relationship. And more maybe safer than open space. But the number one important thing is. So let's discuss later on. Yeah, I will go back to my. Any more questions about regarding my life? Would you like to follow my way?
Open space sounds to me like only happen in the city. Or opening space can happen anywhere.
So do you mean?
Because we like to know non-urban, there's just so much. This is open space. What kind of activity you are allowed to do?
我以为这是个选课。
In one word, maybe we understand what she said.
I think I'm a bit interested in this social forest idea. Is this unique in Philippines, or do you find it in other Asian countries?
Oh yeah, you can find everywhere in developing countries.
Developing countries?
Yeah, developing, especially tropical countries.
So especially for developing countries?
In tropical countries.
Because I think in Taiwan, the forests are pretty much protected. You cannot develop or you cannot do anything in the forest.
Yeah. There is a similar word. It's I said social forestry. When there is community forestry. We concern more on the social aspect. So, but community forestry, we concern more community. So, and technically, there is agroforestry. So I thought about the topic going under the university is agroforestry. We're growing both in some plantation area. But it's a big difference from monoculture. Monoculture like pineapple plantation, huge pineapple plantation in Korea. Remove all the trees and they plant pineapples. So it has more biodiversity and sustainability and as a community. And yeah. So those three, the concept is always work together. And even those things, so it is famous in the developing countries, especially in tropical areas. But maybe we have to. I think we can use even in developed countries as agroforestry, community forestry. Not only forestry, community agriculture, or social agriculture, something like that. Maybe urban agriculture belong to community agriculture. Even in Korea, and you do also. You eat some wild vegetables from the mountains. Yeah. How do you go? You just collect vegetables from the mountains in sustainable way or not?
We buy from the indigenous communities.
Yeah. Maybe so in very in sustainable way. But those indigenous people know to even they, you know, shift cultivation. Have you heard about shift cultivation? In tropical region, you need some corns or rice, something to eat. You can get also some wildlife to eat and those wild vegetables from the forest. But still you need some corns and rice. So you need some plantation areas. But those indigenous people understand the system of nature. So they fired some area. There's maybe less than 1/10 or 100. So they fire this area and they plant corn and they move, they shift to other place. Maybe here. The second year. And they return to this area 10 years later and miss. So 10 years means it will be recovered with the vegetation. So all the forest, more than 90% is covered with the forest. It's a certain way. So those indigenous people knows about this. Maybe even in the Mongolia, they grow cows And cow need, one cow need 10 hectares of grassland in certain ways. But the Soviet wanted to import more meat, so they pushed to produce more meat from your countries. So they start to not follow the sustainable way, the traditional way. They started maybe through cow in 5 hectares only. That's why now we have more vegetation. Because of that. So anyway, so the sheep cultivation is one reason of the deforestation of tropical areas. But sheep cultivation cannot work alone. It's working with commercial cuttings. When the commercial company cut the old trees in tropical areas, and those people, the indigenous people from the areas, they fire everything. So it became the deforested area, deserted area. Understand me? Do you understand me? Not very well. Let's talk about urban agriculture in the world. Of course, maybe a long time ago, 1,000 years ago, there was the maybe growing food activities everywhere people live. But in the city, we are talking about the urban farming or urban agriculture. Maybe we can say it was started after World War and great depression. And so in USA and also the England, UK, and Germany, they started a lot and climate as urban agriculture or food growing urban areas. Then World War first, there was a kind of project, children's garden project. In Second World War, there were the Victory Gardens. And but after the Second World War and depression, the world economy was recovered step by step. So we can get food anywhere from even big stores. So we didn't need grow food anymore in the cities. So such maybe horticulture program or other urban agricultural program was considered as kind of social welfare or environmental education programs in the 50s, 60s. But I think the community garden movement or community garden program was born in late 1960s and 70s as a grassroots movement. In 1990s, it was choice. It was organic urban agriculture. And yeah, from that, so in the world, who has the big urban farmers in the world? I mean among cities. Cuba and Cuba, except Cuba. It's a very special case, yeah. Berlin or Seattle or Moscow or London from Who is number one?
Can you say it again?
Pick one of those.
Yeah. It's Moscow. Because of in 1987, Moscow was, the Soviet was collapsed. And the food market was so crazy with high price and very low productivity. So, and they have very good system. They call Tacha system. They have their own farmland, something like Kleinland in Germany. So Soviet, the Russian, Moscow citizen has a kind of system. So maybe it was recorded in 1990s. More than 50% of Moscow cities joined urban agriculture through the Tacha system. I never have been in Moscow, but anyway, what I mean, mainly urban agriculture, if we say the growing food, the urban agriculture, the concept of urban agriculture is growing food. Is occurred when it is crisis. Food crisis or economic crisis, or if you're in war or after war. But from 1960s, it was changing. Many people borrow the concept of the urban agriculture as a community movement, community revitalization program. So it was started in the 1960s and grown up, and now we made a plan like a local food action plan. Local food action plan in Toronto and healthy and sustainable food council in London. It was opposed by urban agriculture. It was occurred in 1960s and 70s. Cuba's choice. Cuba's choice. Cuba was closed in 1990s. It's blocked by USA. Before that, it's in 1990s. They were totally closed. They cannot import any oils, even 1 liter of oils. They cannot import. They are all totally dependent on their economy. The way of life was dependent on oil. But the oil was, the country was closed. So this is why they have to change the system. And this is Cuba's choice. And I found the system and or history, how they developed urban agriculture in USA, North America. First, they start from as a community movement, and so especially the Seattle, they have a neighborhood department and village community garden program. And then later on, they concern more about social welfare, so they developed a food bank and eating gardens. You know, even in Seattle and New York, still the growing food in the city is very private. Especially because the politicians, and if someone grows food in the park, why do you grow food for your one purpose? It's a public area. Even in Taipei, it's illegal. in Korea, in Seoul, it was illegal. Still it is illegal. But it's allowed. Because people love growing foods. Anyway, so those urban agriculture activities were growing citizens. I mean, the citizens who grow food need some, how can I say, something to persuade and remind the benefit and importance of the urban agriculture to others, to politicians. So they modeled the concept of wealth to connect with urban agriculture. And later on, in these days, those American Community Gardening Association, the main topic of the conference is health. Because the more than 50% of the American citizens has their health. Yeah. So they spend too much money. More than 40% of GDP they spend to solve the problems. And that's why now they develop the local production plans. This is the very new history of the urban agriculture. In Korea, I researched myself. Actually, maybe you know the community gardener in USA. Now more than 30% is from Asian countries, the immigrants. What I mean, in our blood, like Chinese, Korean, Japanese, there's something, maybe gene, to grow food everywhere. Look at our grandfather and grandmother. If they have a small plot, they plant some seed. Yeah? So it means 100 years ago, not only in Seoul maybe, but also in Taipei, all the Asian people has a small backyard garden everywhere. Even they have a small house. But the growing food in private area is okay, but in public area it's illegal. People love park than the garden or growing food. But still, many people love growing food in the public areas, especially New Yorkers. New Yorkers from Asian country. Our grandmother went to the New York Central Park, and there is a lawn. It's so stupid. Why we grow nothing to eat? Yeah? So they changed it to the vegetable garden. And one of my friends, he worked in the New York City Department of the Park and Recreation Department. He said at first, maybe it was in 1970s and 80s, and every day they told those old women, don't go anymore. But this grandma cannot speak English. Oh, I want. And then someday they understood the officials. They cannot speak English and they cannot be a friend or a neighbor of the original community, we say. So it's a big problem. You have to spend a lot of money to care of those people to be close to the original community. So is there any way not to pay to solve this problem, and they found the way. That's the community. That's why they started. I think it's the same story in Seoul. The growing food was it was illegal in public land, but you know, it's illegal in this area. It's legal in this area. You may think it is all illegal in the cities. So, maybe we lost our gene in the blood of growing food. But so this is condition in 20s. In 1990s, one farmer in Seoul City started weekend farm, and we call Day1 farm, and people understood we love growing food and time and care. So the weekend farm grown up to more than 80s in Seoul City. And maybe 2000, the Deep Farm movement organization was started in 2000, the year of 2000. So many people want to go back to the farmland and countryside where they grown up in up to 20s. So, and now we have more, I think, more than 30 NGOs or social enterprise who is working in the field of urban agriculture. So, I introduced my own journey, and also I may introduce the history of the urban agriculture. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm not a professor, just I think myself. We have a very old tradition. This is our basement. And first floor, but we developed our economy in very fast way, and we are too much organized, and so we lost a lot of things. But in the 1980s, maybe same thing happened in Taiwan. We had the citizens movement, and it's a third floor. And first forward, based on the economic development and urbanization, we had a lot of problems. And those social problems are so much complicated. It's connected, something like policy is connected with agriculture and organizations. Everything is complicated. So, in this forward, we need a new movement, unlike the civil movement in the 1980s. We need new technology, new skills, and maybe new network and new organizations. So, in this case, in Seoul, we talk about more communities and community or neighborhood and youth movement and alternative technologies and culture and art movement and reform or youth movement. This new area within 10 or 20 years. So this map of urban where we grow food in Seoul City. It's a lot. Yeah? It's not so big. But many places, every school, we have 1,400 schools in Seoul. Among the schools, already we have 800 school gardens and thousands of the rooftop gardens done by the Postman, done by private persons. And also we have some the rooftop garden project by public. And here we have I'm sorry, I could not change the English. This one is community gardens and rooftop gardens. And this one is beekeeping. Beekeeping. We have maybe I think about 20 beekeeping farms. In 2013, we started to develop the master plan of urban agriculture in Seoul. You know the story of tea bean plantation? When we plant bean, we plant 3, not only 1 bean. So 1 is for worm, horse. 1 is for bird, sky. The other one is for my family. So it's a very sustainable way, yeah? It's a philosophy of our ancestors, our farmers. So, and I think we have 3 kinds, when we talk about urban agriculture, we have 3 kinds of agendas or issues. The first one is like lifestyle. I mean, not everyone has same vision or same purpose. Maybe many people want to have safe food or the healthy. They need more exercise, especially the old people. And the younger one is kind of environmental education. And maybe we need more relationship with the neighborhood. Such I think the agenda of the lifestyle. And second, we have agenda of the city planning, like regeneration of the areas and the food action plan and green cities and biodiversity. Like in Paris, they started no use the chemicals in the cities, so they never. You know, in Seoul Forest Club where I work, we have not used the chemicals for 4 years at the moment. We expected that there must be big complaint from users, from the citizens. But for 4 years, there is no complaint from the citizens. There is no following worms. It didn't. You know why? It's controlled by bird. So anyway, so there is such a biodiversity is issued in city planning, and another agenda is alternative technology. So our urban agriculture or growing food is connected with such the saving the water, the rainwaters, and organic waste, and beekeeping, and like the food factories, and saving the many alternative technologies is connected with urban agriculture. In ACJ conference in Chicago, I went there. Chicago is quite different from Seattle. Seattle, they have a PPH program. They have developed a PPH program for 30 years, more than 30 years. And now they have 40 years. But now they have less than 80 PPH. But Chicago, they announced this is the year of urban agriculture in 2010. And in 2013, they have already 71 community gardens. So Chicago is quite big. It's different from the Seattle. Home is actually it was organized by the homeless activists. So in Illinois, harvest is run by the Chicago Botanical Garden. I will pass this Brooklyn Range Farm is the biggest rooftop garden in New York. It's beautiful. And it's growing power, run by the famous basketball player. I forgot his name. Anyway. And those two, the one lady and boy, they are integrating their farm, and they do like a paper. Every time they do, and I ask them, "Are you trained?" They say yes. So it means not only growing the food, the boss, the ex-basketball player want to grow the power of the young people. There's one very popular old building it was abandoned building in industrial area. This is new project they call the plant, and the plant is this is the they make energy from the waste, food waste. And so this building is, they are planning to be independent outside. They grow some fishes here. They have big containers and mushroom, and it will be bakery, and it's also aquaculture system. So they grow it somewhere in underground, especially the mushrooms. Detroit. When was the bankrupt in Detroit? Right? It was when they maybe 10 years ago. Maybe 10 years ago, something. The GM. Yeah, GM was bankrupt, and
After 2008.
After 2008. Yeah, maybe less than 10 years ago. And after the bankrupt, the price of a house is less than $100. It's cheaper than the rural areas, because it's very dangerous. Nobody wants to live there. So the guy, what's his name? Alex and his friend bought land and with very cheap price. So now they cultivate more than 3 hectares, and there's a school, yeah. So one area is for the growing vegetables, and the other part, the other part is the fruit trees. And those 2 people and 2 more laborers, they suffer from the products. And they have solar systems, and the electricity line was cut after the bunker. So they cannot use the water, they cannot use the electricity. It's not the city, it's very near from the downtown, but there's nothing to such a conveyance system in the cities. So they have to, it's utilized for the remote area. It was developed after the victim in California. In these days, there are so many victims in USA. So they developed very special solar system to use in remote areas. This is the so they can use it for their greenhouse. It's a greenhouse. Dr. Lee. So the Alex is totally independent farmer. Maybe only 1 or 2 independent farmers. It's a gardening. But the gardening program and guerrilla gardening in Europe was born in late 1960s. Very interesting. You know, they started from 1960s, and that was at that time New York was in the economic crisis. So many areas, many public places was abandoned, and it was so dirty and dangerous. So people started to clean and green the area. Now, at that time, those people who started the green guerrilla were so young, but now they became the old people. They are already old communities. As I told you, the old communities, they started 30 years ago, and their second generation never like to live in the same place. The same cases, you know. So new communities, they are so young. They love such green areas, but they don't like to work in community gardens. They want to enjoy the green, but they don't like to work for them. So there's a trouble or miscommunication between old community and new community in these days. So it's a very new and important issues in wow. It's a proposal from here in Montreal. In San Francisco, Handle State Park starting. Someday will be changing. But anyway, 3 years ago there is no proposal something like that. Now we have. And then the next picture is the second major urban agriculture. Please visit the city farmers site. It's run by Mr. Anyway, you just look for the city farmer. The site has information from more than 150 countries regarding the urban agriculture. I get the picture. So, and the plant and Brooklyn grains from the rooftop garden, the huge rooftop garden was started maybe 2 years ago. Maybe we can have in Taipei or this Taiwan University. Why not? Like this building, you can develop the systems, you know. The plant, they get food waste, not from them, not from the building. They get the food waste from neighborhood. And neighborhood has to pay for the food waste if there is no system like the plant. So they are happy altogether. Plant is happy to get the energy, and the neighborhood can save money with the neighborhood. And so I thought I can make a proposal to my city mayor. This Northern Island. Later on I will show the pictures and can make an Eden project in England. It's an island in the just in the cities, center of the city. Challenges we can have is Taiwan. Maybe we can make an urban agriculture Taiwan in Seoul. It's all fixed buildings, same height, and we can. It's designed by very famous architect in Korea, early 1970s. So it's very old, but the building is very strong. So we are going to utilize the rooftop garden, and I propose not only for the landscape, but also for something commercial. So good chance. Another chance with basically youth. There is youth hub and some other we call innovation park. It was also the kind of industrial area, and the Seoul city government took over the place, and now we are delivering something there. And the food market, urban farmers, the food market run by urban farmers is become so popular in Seoul. Of course, only in Seoul, not other cities. And like our community garden in public park. Now we have five community gardens in public park. It's illegal. Still. It's still illegal. But mayor wants. We can do that. Urban farming. I love the word of growing food than urban agriculture. Urban agriculture is always be concerned as a business, industry. It's not good for urban agriculture. So let's use the growing food in the city than urban agriculture. Yeah, it's a China, the last picture. As I told you, I live in the forestry. My major is forest. This is the Korean pine forest. And you know, we planted it in late 60s and 70s. We call that time was baby boom period. So today they are already 50s. They are mainstay of our society. They decide everything, political, economic, and social things. And look at the forest there. It's pine forest. We planted. It's very artificial nature, artificial forest. The same ages. And one species. It's a big problem. Our society is same. So how do we change the forest? We remove the trees. We think. How about our society? Shall we remove 50s? No, it's impossible. We have to find different ways. I think one is urban agriculture, or growing food, or change the way of our living style, lifestyle in the cities. And I believe, but still we need thinning. First I told you I moved to countryside, and many people, especially such old people who transfer from countryside, want to go back to the countryside again. People U-turn, P-turn, you know. But we need some convenient systems. I mean, for example, if we have a dentist in my village and oriental doctors, it's big enough for health. But no, this is my one experience. I live in Busan, and this is Seoul, and it's my village, and there are some big cities, so it's connected by public transportation. We don't have any official doctors in my village, so if you are sick, we have to take a bus or we have to drive yourself to the town. It's almost 30 minutes. So around the bus station, not only my village, there are, I think, more than 100 villages around town. So if somebody is sick, they have to get the bus. Maybe 30 minutes they drive, or so around the bus station there are many doctors. But it's a small doctor. If you have cancer, you cannot be. So you have to go another city or big city. So near the central bus station, there are medium-sized doctors. Really. And the Seoul city is, it's big. And not around the bus terminal. Around the bus terminal, there are many taxis going to big hospital. It's a system of, and too much old people in the cities, not only city but also. So the old people in the city as a woman, they want to move to the countryside, but it's not safe with this system. So how we change the system, kind of the health system. I think this is one way to change the same age and one space society. And yeah, I talk too much. Just I'll show very quickly within 5 minutes. Is it okay? Already I said about the history of urban agriculture in Seoul and Korea. So we have a kind of kitchen gardens in a long time ago. Take the picture, I will give you the file. I will share this file through the image. In Seoul, in 2012, we have we declared this is the year of urban agriculture. And there are many types of urban agriculture. So it's same like in Taipei, New York, Tokyo, everywhere. And but very special things we have is commercial farms around the whole side. You know, I think it's same in Taiwan. Always the city in Korea was starting between mountain and river. It's good place. To say, we call Hongse. So the other part must be rice field or crop field. But the city grew up and expand to this area. So finally remains it's same whole city in Korea. It's mountain or hill. I have a Nepalian friend and I invite him to our mountain and he climbed up the top of the mountain and he shouted, "Oh, nice hill!" Not mountain. For him, Nepalian. And this is the river, Han River. River. And all cities here. So between the mountain and down the city area, there always be kind of agricultural land. So still in Seoul we grow rice. We grow rice. How much? Just 1 meal for whole seasons a year. So if we are close, we'll die tomorrow. Yeah, so still we have a commercial, and there are many functions and many reasons why we do growing food. And this the performance of project in 2012 run by city government. So there are many things we support. And one of my friends, Dr. Lee, he surveyed so it's in 2012, and more than 88% know about urban agriculture already, and almost 34% joined the growing food activities. And why the reason is self-consumption. We love lettuce with pig and soju. And that pepper we love. What? Kimchi. And it's very new. It's a very new concept and activity. So we are very less than 2 or 3 years. And day one, this is what as I told you, all the agricultural land is quite far from residential areas. So they feel the shortage of the sun, the place to grow food. And in developed area, 90% is covered by concrete or asphalt. So there's no place to grow food anymore inside the cities. But if you go to the boundary of the residential area, it's already, you have to spend more than sometimes 1 hour. So they feel shortage. You know, what should be the objective of UA in Seoul? They concern about environmental conservation, even though they grow food themselves, they concern the public purpose. And this is a very interesting graph. We get the data from the newspaper articles. How many articles we can find about urban agriculture or growing food. So you see from 2010 raised so high. It was happened in 2009 with Medcal. That's why I showed the map, school garden, and Road Island. It's wonderful. That building is like Taipei 101. It's very near the place. Like you had the gardens near Taipei 101. Yeah, you look. It's a map of Northern Island. We may watch this one in the future, maybe 2 years later, in tomorrow. And another new one, Kangoh Lee. It's a master plan. It's just a word. Master plan is master plan. Anything in the concern, it will grow. Thank you so much.
So there are open questions.
Already we have the questions so much.
那个各位朋友有没有什么问题想要？那个我们李老师其实是来度假的。I told them you are come here for family vacation.
Yeah. That's why I could not prepare the notes.
所以大家知道，如果李老师今天不是来度假，可能课要上到晚上10点。
the mayor, support the urban agriculture project?
He called himself social designer.
Social designer?
He called himself a social designer.
就是现在的那个市长，那个自称自己是社会设计师。
And he loves agriculture and urban agriculture too.
But why he loves it so much?
And he loves sharing cities too. Sharing cities.
Sharing那个，他说那个现在的市长，那个非常喜欢农业，或者是都市农业。
And he also is interesting in social enterprise.
然后他对那个社会企业也非常有兴趣。
And he believed those urban agriculture and social enterprise and community revitalization and youth platform for youth and so on, youth programming is all connected.
所以他相信说社会企业都市农业，然后youth platform 就是年轻人的这种平台，然后
all the social innovation programs.
所有的这种社会创新，然后包括这个社区的这种活化再生，这个通通是连在一起的。
Yeah, really he's a good mayor and he supports urban agriculture like before our monsoon. There's even the budget, the city budget was less than billion won. With the US dollar is 0.5
Can you just 就是在那个，其实，在市政非常困难的时候，那个财政非常困难的时候，他还是非常支持这个。